Line of Duty was back last Thursday.
Let's start with it.
I watched it. I know Luke watched it, and Gary has appeared to have watched it as well.
Gary has very much.
That's
So we've all
everybody
watched
covered.
I watched it. I left it until Bank Holiday Monday though.
Okay.
Because I was helping my parents move in. That should have been
How
the
did that
band
go,
beginning.
by the way?
It went very well. On Monday I was banging fence panels back in after they'd been blown off on Sunday night during Hurricane or Storm Katie.
And any news on Mrs. McNamara?
No Mrs. McNamara news. She was away over Easter. I don't know if she's back. There's no moving date given out yet.
Okay. So, Line of Duty.
Line of Duty. Now, I'm going to try and do this, as you say, I do the setups, but it's a while. I think it's about almost 2 weeks since I saw the first episode now.
Is it?
Well, it's whenever we got a preview copy of it, because I watched it almost instantly.
Do you want me to try and do it?
Okay.
No, this will be good. Let Gary do the setup. This will be good.
Okay, then. So basically, you get a very quick intro to.
Oh, you're not going to go through the entire show.
Don't do the whole episode, are you?
You go straight into a scene where this armed response unit come to a decision, and they're chasing a criminal through back streets of. Is it London or is it set in Manchester? I can never remember.
I don't think they ever say.
I don't think they ever say, do they?
But I think it's somewhere in the Midlands.
Yeah, I get the impression it's in the Midlands.
They film it in Belfast.
And the thing with Danny Mays, you think it's straight away, don't you?
And it's these 4 people, and they're led by the actor
Daniel Mays.
And basically, he gets ahead of the other 3 and captures and corners the victim or the person that they're trying to catch, and instead of allowing him to be arrested, shoots him. And then makes the other 3 complicit in the cover-up of the fact that he kicked it. So they kick the gun away, or they kick the gun back into his hands, and they all fire shots to make it seem as if they've discharged their guns, apart from 1. And basically, that's the reason that we have AC-12 investigating, because there's some suspicious incidents regarding, how the shooting took place and, the order of things.
I do like the way they sort of popped up again, where it was just like, is this one for us?
Yeah. And I like the way in which they slowly kind of revealed each person. So it's a 4-person team now. So you first of all had the short guy who was very prominent, who joined them in season 1. Then you had the captain.
Oh, you're talking about AC-12.
Yeah, and then you had Craig in the interview, and then the female detective listening in the background, so that later.
Oh, it's great! I love this. No, keep going.
And she joins in later on because she's the one that then goes undercover, like in the other 2 series. So they keep her out.
Vicky McClure's character, Kate.
Vicky McClure.
And the small one who joined at the beginning, that's Martin Compton, Steve.
Yeah. And the big boss.
Adrian Dunbar, Ted Hastings.
Well,
and Craig.
Everybody's.
Craig Parkinson.
Revel Harwood.
Fan of the
Dot Cotton.
Yeah.
Now, I suppose the difference between this series and the other series is there is no explanation of what AC-12 do. You're just straight into them pretty much interviewing Daniel Mays' character.
They're anti-corruption and they believe there's some corruption.
Yeah. Well, that's right, but there's no explanation of that. They're just
How do you mean?
in. Well,
what explanation would you have wanted?
What AC-12 do?
Well, they're an anti-corruption team. That's what they do.
In the previous series, you've seen much more corruption before they begin to investigate. In my opinion,
in the last series, it was that thing with the with Keeley Hawes with the cars and the explosion and everything. We had that, and then we had the investigation.
I felt like there was more explanation last time. Anyway,
this
was a very fast-paced episode.
I know what you say. I know what you're saying in a way because they sort of went.
They
straight
just turned
into the
up and off
with
we
Danny,
went.
and that's because though, spoiler alert, at the end of the first episode, we get because we think we think Daniel Mays is going to be like Lenny James was in the first series and Keeley Hawes was in the second series, like the main person that they're investigating. But then the final scene is them going on to another mission, the 4-person armed response unit and Kate undercover. She stays downstairs, the rest of them go upstairs, and then she hears a shot, goes upstairs, and it looks like one of the 3 of them has killed...
well, certainly that's what do you think there's any other explanation than that? Because there's 3 of them in a room and he's dying, and from a gunshot, and they're all.
And do we think that's it then for him? Do we think he's
No.
gone, or
I don't.
I
think
think
at least he'd be in a coma for some.
Well, that's what I thought, is that perhaps he'll be in hospital.
Unless Luke flashbacks,
yeah, I'm wondering.
Not really.
Can I say, I love Line of Duty. You know, I loved it. I've always loved it from the Lenny James series to now. I didn't watch the preview like Matt. I decided to watch it, and I have to say, although I admired the long initial interview scene, which normally comes, as Gary says, normally comes later on, I wasn't immediately in the Line of Duty world until there was a scene where we sort of knew who Danny Mays was and what sort of character he was, and then he meets a girl in a bar.
Yeah,
and
just picks her up.
This character completely switches to someone who is not confident, not cocky, isn't sure of himself, and sort of says to her, "May I kiss you?" and is very relaxed and very. Well,
they've got this, obviously, some sort of tortured childhood.
Yeah, and I just
growing
thought,
up in
homes
this is and being
different.
abused or something.
Well, not only that, they introduced the idea that he may be doing something on behalf of other people. That the whole idea that he killed this character and tortured and killed the other person, the old guy, might be related to something else rather than just he's a bit of a corrupt cop.
It was incredible television. I even got butterflies watching the Goggleboxers watch it on Friday. Everything I wanted from it. Daniel Mays I've always rated for a long time, and it's good, and he hasn't done a role
do
centered on him.
There's 2 things I would say in the history of spooks and stuff like that. They did do this last year, didn't they, where they killed off what you thought was a major new character in the first episode. And so them killing off Daniel Mays, if they do it, is part of the show's history.
And of course, Lenny James, spoiler, Lenny James died at the end of Series 1 as well.
Well, I suppose you had a death at the end of the last, because didn't Gina McKee die at the first episode of Series 1?
First or second, I think.
Yeah, very, very early on. So
you've had that sort of thing of, as Gary said, Jessica Raine in the last series, Gina McKee in the series before. So you're used to having a death of sort of a secondary character, but this, by all intents and purposes, is the main character.
I remember Matt coming out the screening of Series 2 and just being bouncing off the wall saying you have to watch it. I don't want to tell you anything. How did you feel about the ending of this one?
It wasn't as... I think the end... I got the impression that something was going to happen to him. I felt that, certainly maybe not in this first episode, but that they couldn't string this character out for an entire series. For example, the Keeley Hawes character was always keeping something back, so you never knew if she
you unravelled bits of Keeley Hawes' character, didn't you? And you were supposed to like her. When she had her head flushed down the toilet, you were supposed to have sympathy for her, and then by the end you hated her.
You didn't know how to take her. We as the audience, I think, in this third series, have been given a lot more information than we had been in the previous 2 series, because if you remember as well, I don't think we were told about Kate being undercover in Lenny James's crew, were we?
No.
That was part of the reveal of AC-12.
Yeah, I mean, there's not yet been that big reveal like those 2 things. I think this time, certainly in terms of the Daniel Mays character, we've been given a lot more information. We've seen him, shoot this guy and then kill the other guy later on.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how they're doing this series. I don't think the
and
shock
also
value is there.
With
the writing's still on point. Yeah.
It's brilliant though, and I didn't get a preview of episode 2, but I will. It doesn't matter because I won't watch it then. I'll watch it tonight.
It's on Thursday nights on BBC 2 at 9:00.
Yeah, and also we do know, the 4th series is coming. They're filming it in the winter of this year. So it's not going to be Danny Mays and this current crew. It's going to be the same old new person, different situation. How do we feel about that? Would we like to see them continue on with...
I'd like to see Keeley Hawes come back.